Every day of our lives, we continue to come about discoveries that help us catch a glimpse into a spectrum of possibilities. The same applies when we talk about human origin on Earth. From astronomical, biological, and archaeological discoveries to myths and legends, the quest to discover our true origins has never been stronger than now. Do we come from the same ancestors who also came from the same ancestors? Are we one people today, but a collection of people with different origins, and maybe who came from different other planets to inhabit the Earth? Hello, and welcome again to my YouTube channel. In today's edition of The Greatest Mystery of Our Time, the dawning theory that humans may not have come from Earth, we'll be considering two possibilities: that man may not have come from Earth, both from findings from what is today known as lost DNA, or ghost DNA, in humans. If you don't know, this is part 6 of the series, which means that if you're new to my channel, or haven't seen any of the previous parts of the series, pause now, subscribe to my channel, and follow the links in the description to catch all the gist from part 1. While you do that, don't forget to turn on your notifications by clicking on the bell icon on the screen. Like our videos, comment, and share with your friends. In parts 1, 2, and 3 of this series, we mentioned the possibility that man's DNA may have originated from space and somewhere distant from our world. In part 3, we discussed the possibility that man's DNA and RNA may have originated long ago, following the forming of the solar nebula, or from places like the asteroid belts. Going further back in part 2, I told you about American ecologist Dr. Ellis Silver, who pointed out that the extra 223 genes in human beings, among other things, mean that we're from elsewhere other than Earth. But there's more to man's DNA than most people know about, and I will show that to you today. To do that, we'll be going on a journey to 2 areas of the world to discover what researchers say about man's DNA that may mean more than what is currently thought. First, we'll go to West Africa, where a ghost DNA is found among the people. And next, to another place on Earth, where some locals are said to carry the DNA of a third unknown human species. If you've been following my videos, then you're aware that life is full of mysteries, some of which help our minds to wander in thought beyond everything we already know. And just about 2 years ago, scientists discovered another intriguing secret about humans that has remained hidden all these years. The latest discovery is a continuation of a decade of research into ancient DNA taken from human remains. In 2010, a group of researchers released the first Neanderthal genome. Later, scientists discovered DNA in remains from Denisoya Cave in Siberia. This genetic material belongs to the Denisovans, a second human lineage closely connected to the Neanderthals. Approximately 600,000 years ago, Neanderthals and Denisovans diverged from our common ancestors, most likely in Africa. They extended into Eurasia, where the Denisovans migrated eastward, and Neanderthals migrated westward. Both populations are said to have become extinct around 40,000 years ago. In February 2020, geneticists Arun Durvalusa and Suryam Sankaraman of the University of California, Los Angeles made a shocking discovery that shook the world of science and complicated the story of human origins. For the records, it's been challenging trying to study human genetic diversity using Africa's fossil record. Well, scientists have found a way around the problem, as genes in some living West Africans are helping to shed more light on where we come from. Between 50,000 years ago, it seems that ancient people in West Africa mated with another group of ancient humans that scientists were unaware of. According to the experts who published their findings in the journal Science Advances, there are no bones or old DNA to show it, but the proof is in the genomes of current West Africans. They tested genetic data from hundreds of Nigerians and Sierra Leoneans and discovered ghost DNA from an unidentified progenitor. Earlier studies have indicated that between 600,000 and 800,000 years ago, two populations of hominins, Denisovans and Neanderthals, separated from a common ancestor. In this latest study, the researchers have identified clues that imply a prior group branched off from the same common ancestor, about 200,000 years earlier. The researchers examined the genealogies of 405 people from among the Mende people of Sierra Leone and Yoruba of southern Nigeria, when they detected some non-modern human DNA in samples. This discovery prompted them to compare the non-human fragments to Denisovan and Neanderthal DNA. They, however, discovered no match, which compelled them to assume that the DNA came from another ancestor that diverged over 1 million years ago. Since no remains of this other progenitor have ever been uncovered, the researchers named their genetic remnants ghost DNA. Further examination of the gene snippets indicated that they were transferred into the present human genome roughly 24,000 years ago. The findings indicate that the progenitors of current West Africans crossbred with a race of ancient humans yet to be identified, similar to how ancient Europeans crossbred with Neanderthals and oceanic groups of Denisovans. To help you understand better, our species, Homo sapiens, coexisted with other groups that diverged from the same genetic ancestor in various eras. In addition, there is abundant evidence from different regions of the planet indicating early humans had sexual relations with other hominins, such as Neanderthals. This explains why Neanderthal genes exist in persons of European and Asian ancestry today. Homo sapiens also interbred with another species, the Denisovans, and these genes are present in oceanic populations. The researchers revealed that the proportion of ghost DNA in the two groups of West Africans studied varied from 2 to 19%, while also holding that those genes were of the kind that would have been engaged in regulating body hormones and controlling cancers. Due to the percentages discovered in contemporary humans, it looks probable that they spread swiftly, which implies extensive interbreeding with West African people for a short period. The study also detected evidence of the same DNA in a few persons of Han Chinese heritage living in Beijing, and some Westerners living in the US. However, those instances have not yet been analyzed more extensively. Speaking on the discovery of this DNA in some non-Africans, Sankaraman said, "Our study shows that some of this ancestry is also present in non-African populations." He, however, notes that the DNA is simply less pronounced than in the West African groups. The scientists were unable to determine which human species the archaic ghost group belonged to. Africa's fossil record provides just a few suggestions about its past. A species known as Homo erectus lived in Africa 1,000,000 years ago. The earliest Homo sapiens remains were discovered in Morocco and date back 300,000 years. However, researchers have also discovered a great variety of additional fossils belonging to our species during this period in Africa. The researchers planned to continue their study of the ghost genes, seeking to discover more about their significance in the genome and why they survived so successfully in West African people for such a long period. The discovery leaves us wondering who these ancestors, where the ghost DNA is traced from, are. Could it be that they're aliens from another planet who were on Earth simultaneously as the rest of our distant cousins, but hid their footprints to stop us from discovering who they really are? Could these ancestors be the same that legends say visited West Africans many hundreds of thousands of years ago? Recall that in part 3 of the series, I told you the story of the Dogon people of Mali's Central Plateau region, who say that their ancestors, the Nomans, came from a planet in the Sirius star system. Could it be that these aliens had settled on an Earth that already had our ancestors populating it? Even so, could it be that our ancestors, before that were simply relatives who arrived on Earth, too were put here long before they too arrived? Let me know what you think about the ghost DNA and the possibility that the discovery may be another clue to humans unraveling the mystery of our origin on Earth. Do you think it has something to do with extraterrestrial origin? If you'd like to know more about the Dogon and the Nomans, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't. And follow the links in the description or on your screen. Also, turn on your notification for more amazing videos like this one. Don't forget to like and comment on my videos, and share them with your friends and loved ones. I will return with part 7, where we'll look at another group of humans who scientists say have DNA not traced to any known ancestors.